Okay, great. So, greetings from Tokyo. This is Daisuke, and I hope you are doing very well. I want to take this opportunity in the form of this live stream to just say hello, I suppose, and just bring up a couple things. Let's just set this up for a couple. Let me just set this up, please. Give me 1 second while I set it up, and I'll be on my merry way here. Okay, great. So I apologize for again the impromptu nature of this, but I see. Oh, hello. Okay, great. So I see our dear friends here. Is it? Please correct me if my pronunciation is wrong here, but is it Julio Liu? Do I have that right? Hello, you're first. Yes. And Salim, hello. How are you doing? You wrote me that comment the other day about that Kurosawa course. So I hope that's going very well for you, my friend. And let's see, Begbie80, hello. Anita Bonhit 2.0, hello, how are you doing? By the way, I I always wanted to ask you, maybe you can let me know one of these days. I wonder what 2.0 means, if that has any significance or not. I've always wanted to know that. If not, then that's fine too. But let's see. Um, let's see. Marcel, hello. And J Man XYZ2, hello. Cine Arts, hello. Kevin English, hello. And Julio says, still hoping for the dual format and Wong Kar-wai film analysis. Okay. So I think, yeah, I know that you asked me about the doing a dual format overview of all the dual format editions that I have in the Criterion collection. And it's certainly possible. Just yeah, I hope you can understand that it's a great idea, but I hope you can understand, excuse me, that it's a little bit, it's hard for me. I mean, I suppose I'm doing the live stream here right now, but to, it, I could go back and do all the dual formats, but it might take some time. And I do have other things that I want to take care of first. So, and I usually don't. And I think it's a great idea, but usually it's hard for me to, let's say, it takes me a lot of time. If I receive a suggestion for a video and then for instance, I can't make a video like the next day. It takes me quite a long time to do it because I tend to work very slowly, and also I have other things that I have to do, and so it's. I wish I had more time to do more YouTube videos, I suppose, but. And I suppose I could spend the time, for instance, right now, doing the dual format stuff. But there are, I mean, with cinema and with collecting in general, as you know, there are just so many facets of cinema and collecting and watching movies that that are just that can fill up one's plate almost immediately. And so the dual format discussion, I think, is a great idea, but it might have to. I might take some time with it before I eventually get to it. So please, I apologize for that, but I ask for your patience. But it's a great idea. It's an absolute great idea. And also, I do know that a lot of other people have asked me about, because maybe I should do more videos on Wong Kar-wai films. I also think that's, excuse me, I think that's also an excellent idea. And I have been thinking about it. The directors, I've been very fortunate because a lot of people have been very generous in asking me to do this director or that director or another director, etc. And all the suggestions have been fantastic. Wong Kar-wai, I think, would be up there on on my list and anyone's list. I suppose, oh gosh, it's really difficult because at the moment I my let's see, I do have other directors that I think I would really love to discuss, and so it's just a matter of time, really, and it's also a matter of just figuring out exactly like if I'm in the right frame of mind, so to speak. You know, it's tough too because with this director's stuff, I have to like how should I put it? One of the things I'm always concerned about, and I maybe those of you who do YouTube, you might be a little bit sympathetic to this. I'm not sure, but one of the things I'm always concerned about is I understand that any video that I put up on YouTube or anyone else puts up on YouTube is going to be there for pretty much forever, unless you know it's taken down or the poster deletes it or something like that. So, but it's all the videos except for the very, very, very early ones that I put up at the very beginning. But for the most part, every video that I have is still up there, and so I understand that you know I can put up a video and then I'll get comments on a video maybe like several months later, or in some instances, I'll get a comment from a video I did from over a year ago. And so sometimes it's a little bit difficult for me to recall exactly what I might have said. So it, because it's of that possibility, I always try to, I know I say that I tend to be very much improvisational with my videos. And that's true because I don't have any script or anything like that. I sometimes take notes, but I don't have any script. I don't read off a prompter, or I don't have a pad of paper here, or I don't look at a computer screen when I do this. So it's just all off the cuff, as it were. So that makes me in the situation where I tend to forget specifically what I might have said when it comes to a video that I might have done maybe a year ago or so. You know, maybe I'll have a general idea, but as far as the specific wording I might have used, it's sometimes difficult. But so in order to sort of make sure that I'm able to just how should I put it? I always find that I want to be sure that any comment that I make about a director series video is something that I can stand by months after the fact, or maybe even years after the fact. And so I always try to think about it, just generally speaking, and then a lot of thought and a lot of time actually goes into that process for me. You know, maybe I'll be walking for lunch and I'll just be thinking about, I don't know, like this particular aspect of an Edward Yang film or something, or I'll be eating a sandwich on my lunch break, and I'll try to be thinking about that particular aspect of John Carpenter's The Thing or something. So, and then I'll try to solidify that in my mind, and then I'll try then to just express that the best way possible. So, and the reason why is because I think it's really important for me anyway that I want to try to maintain a kind of sense of I don't know if consistency is the right word, but I don't want anything I say to be just sort of fluff. It might sound like fluff because of the manner in which I express myself, but I really want to try to make it every comment that I try to make with those videos, and with every video in particular, but in particular the director series, I don't want to have any comment to be just fluff. So so it's and that I think is very difficult for me, and perhaps it's an indicator that I should be using a script, you know. But I guess that's just part of my nature. So yeah. But so I guess my point is that the director's series is one that I actually very much care about, and that's why it takes me a long time to do something. For instance, the Edward Yang overview. Edward Yang's filmography is relatively quite small, as some of you may know. And his feature-length films, you've got, what is it, That Day on the Beach, Taipei Story, Terrorizers, Brighter Summer Day, Confusion, Mahjong, and then EE. So those are the feature films. And so that's what, totaling 7? Do I have that right? And so that's relatively few. That's not a lot in terms of filmographies these days, compared to other filmmakers, right? But that took me, I think, I started at that, I want to say maybe in January of this year, I think so, January, February, March. So that now we're almost in September. And I recently finished that. And so I think, and the same is true for the Kazuo Hara overview that I'm doing right now. I started that also in January, and he doesn't have that many films that are readily available as well. So I've just, I talked about Goodbye CP, and Extreme Private Eros, and then now I recently talked about Emperor's Naked Army. So that's only 3, but that took me about, that also, I think I started that in January as well. So that's what, 3 films, and it took me right, over 6 months to talk about, to go over 3 films. So, excuse me. So it's a little bit, how should I put it? That's just the way I kind of approach things. And so I have to apologize to everyone, and to Julio, you as well. And that's sort of where I am at with the dual format video as well. I feel like I really want to do it, but it's just, oh gosh, I really have to focus in on it. And it just takes me more and more time, and days turned into weeks, turned into months and stuff. And so that's sort of the situation I find myself in. So it's not due to any kind of, how should I put it? Well, maybe it could be due to laziness on my part, I suppose. But it's just, I think, I'd like to think that it's just due just to my own way of doing things, and I think I should try to change that, but oh well, it's old habits die hard, I suppose. But but please, thank you very much for the suggestions from you and from anyone else as well. It's really great. That's one of the great things about YouTube, and one of the great pleasures. I count myself very fortunate, very, very fortunate to have such an active and very generous group of friends that are willing to spend a few minutes out of their busy schedule to watch a video that I might put up here on YouTube. So and to leave comments, that always makes my day. So thank you very much, and I will definitely think about that. I'm not gonna forget about it. I think that's a great idea. So I'll do the best I can, and I'll work as fast as possible on that. And let's see, Cine Arts. Yes, I think I said hello to you before, but how are you again? I hope you're well. Cine Arts. So CINEARTS. So Cine Arts. This channel, Cine Arts channel, is just it's great. It's absolutely great. If you haven't checked out Cine Arts YouTube channel, go to the channel right now, Cine Arts. So CINEARTS. That's one word. I think the A in arts is capitalized, but it's all one word. So you can search, or you can actually find Cine Arts maybe in the live chat or in sometimes comments. So click on the name or something and check out that channel. Wow, brilliant. Anyone who loves film, I think, will love that channel. So check out Cine Arts and subscribe and leave comments, and just, great stuff. Always great stuff. And Wolfrat, hello. Let's see. And the Wolfrat, actually, that's great, because I'm glad you're here, because one of your comments that you kindly sent to me, I think the other day, is part of the reason why I wanted to do this quick live stream, which was I did a video maybe, and I put it up maybe yesterday, I think. Yeah, yesterday, Japan time. And I was talking about, it was like an update, I think, and I was talking about what things I was thinking about in the future, in the near future, about what I want to do in terms of YouTube videos. And one of the things I was talking about was the the Jacques Rivette box, which is right here. This is the huge one from the UK. This is the Region B one. So this has both versions of Out One as well. It's loaded. It's absolutely loaded. But the what I was speaking to is the work called Out One, and I think for a lot of people, Out One is a little bit of a daunting work because it's very long. There are two versions of it, but let's speak to the longer version, which is essentially about 13 hours, give or take. It's divided into episodes, so it's episodic in nature, and each episode is its own thing. I mean, but each episode is it's almost its own feature length in and of itself, because you're talking about an episode that's like, what is it, 8 episodes, and each episode is about like 90 minutes or almost 2 hours sometimes. So you've got huge chunks of these of the film, the work is divided into these huge chunks, and each is very much, it's, how should I put it? It's the subject matter, when one gets into it, I think I understand completely. Daunting, I've heard that word a lot. It's can be very intimidating. It's quite difficult to get into. And I've heard a lot of people, I think very reasonably so, say that, oh, I have the set, but I haven't gotten into Out One, or I've been thinking about getting it, but I don't know. So, and I think for a lot of people, and myself included, it's very intimidating. It's incredibly intimidating work. And I do want to convey to you that I think watching Out One is a really it's something that I would strongly recommend if you have the opportunity to do so. And I really want to convey that. I really believe that. And so much so that actually I'm more and more encouraged now to want to try to do a series of videos, if I can, focusing on the Out One versions, and also each episode perhaps, because, how should I put it? Again, I don't want to spoil it too much, because actually it's very rich, and it's kind of dense, and perhaps for some people, and I completely understand this, for some people it might be so dense, it's like, what's going on? I have no idea what's going on. That kind of reaction, I think it's very, very reasonable to have. But I urge you to give it a try, and maybe by the end of the first episode, you might think, what's going on here? I have no idea. This is a little bit difficult to get into, but I urge you just to give it a try, and to it's like, I was mentioning this to our dear friend Nazarn Prod in a private message, and I was saying that from my point of view, Out One is almost like, it's like Twin Peaks meets the Nouvelle Vague. And so it does have a bit of a Twin Peaks vibe, in particular the return. So, and I figure, that the return, the Twin Peaks return, is like its own super movie, right? It's super long if you were to sit down and watch it in one sitting, right? Out One is not dissimilar to that. And so I think if one is able to sit down with, let's say, a long, long set or a long series like Twin Peaks or Twin Peaks: The Return, I think it is therefore possible, I think, to sit down and consider out one. And whenever I think of Twin Peaks: The Return, or whenever I am engaged in those discussions with anyone online, very rarely do I get those comments from people saying, "Oh, it's so long, it's daunting," And I would actually think that the same kind of approach or view could be applied to Out One. Rather than thinking of it in terms of this overly long, daunting thing, I think another way to look at it would be it's sort of like an episodic, at least the episode version anyway. The episodic nature of it actually makes it fairly digestible and readily accessible, in my opinion. One need not necessarily sit through the entirety of it in one sitting. Just like with, let's say, Twin Peaks: The Return, one need not necessarily have to watch it in one sitting in order to absorb it. One can if one wants to, and I really admire that approach, but I think the same is true for Out One. And actually also some of the subject matter and some of the tone and the way in which characters interact and some of the themes, I would say, are very Twin Peaksy. And so anyone who likes Twin Peaks: The Return, it's quite possible that you will really get into Out One. I mean, there's also a lot about, there's a mystery element about, there's a paranoia element about it, and it's how should I put it? It's not. There is a real cloak of uncertainty, which makes it very labyrinthian, and it's like a puzzle box in a very unique way. And I think Jacques Rivette's films in general, I think, are very much like that. Okay, yeah. So it's like, yeah, Twin Peaks meets Nouvelle Vague meets Celine and Julie Go Boating, something like that. So if you like any one of those three, then, or a combination of those three, then you'll definitely get into Out One. So thank you very much for the comments that you've been sending me, and Wolfgratz as well. I know you sent me a comment about Out One. And a lot of people I know have the box set, or maybe a variant of the box set, the limited edition release, or any subsequent releases of the set. And so it's highly, highly recommended. And I think because of it, it does also have a how should I put it? It has for better or for worse, Out One has a reputation amongst film fans and cinema critic circles. It's one of those, for the longest time before the Arrow Academy release and also subsequent releases in North America were concerned. Before those releases, it was actually pretty difficult to get. It was pretty difficult to get one's hands on and to watch. And so it was like a kind of like a holy grail item for a lot of people, for myself anyway. And I'd never been able to see it until the Arrow Academy release several years back. And so it was it was, for me anyway, like a legendary film. It grew in my mind whenever I heard about it. I heard about this epic thing, and I was never able to see it. And then I got the box set when it was released, and then I sat down and saw it, and I think I was a little bit stunned when I first saw it. I didn't like it at first. I thought it was very, like, what the heck is going on here? I have no idea. But then slowly it dawned on me that it sort of commanded me, and it commanded my attention, and until now. And I find myself now completely just in awe of what it's doing. It's funny. It's almost laugh out loud funny in many places. I mean, some of the stuff that goes on, it's ludicrous. I think it's meant to be very funny, and we're meant to laugh at certain situations. I mean, it's not all sort of pretentious goings on here. I mean, there's a lot of down to earth, like ludicrousness, and so, but that's mixed in with other tones of suspense and of oddity and of nuance and human interaction and the impossibilities thereof, and all this is just it becomes this huge whirlwind of sort of nonsensical genius, if you will. So, and so therefore, this film, in terms of its merits, I think is very important, but also in terms of its legend, its legendary status, it's very important. So, I think I would strongly recommend, if anything, that every person who counts him or herself as a film lover, I think owes it to himself or herself to try to watch Out One at least once in his or her life. I mean, at the very least, then you can say later in your life, in film conversations, you can then say, "Oh yes, I did see Out One." So there you go. So I do recommend seeing this at least once. It might be a little bit tough, it might be a little bit daunting, but don't worry. And if you like Twin Peaks, I think you might find something to like about this. So, and I am very much encouraged to do a video series about this. So yeah, hopefully I will. Yeah, I'm actually very encouraged right now because this is very exciting. Out One is very exciting. So, so thank you very much to you, Wolfgratz, and to Nazarene Prod, and to many others out there. Zyrother, I think you left a comment as well, so thank you, and to many others out there who left comments and just were expressing your interest in Out One. It really made me very happy. I was so thrilled. Really great. And let's see. Dion Cox, hello. All Things Film, our dear friend, All Things Film, hello, how are you? Bear Skins, do you have a big TV and surround sound for watching your movies? No, I don't. I haven't made a video or anything up just showing my video TV setup. I usually don't. I'm a bit embarrassed to do videos like that, which is why I don't do that. But my television setup is actually not so that it's not that impressive because I live in an apartment here in Tokyo with my family, and it's I mean it's not the biggest place in the world, but it's I mean it's not cramped, but it's not so big either. So we're and what I'm most concerned about is I don't want to cause too many vibrations or noise that might bother the people that live next door or upstairs or downstairs, and so I have to be very conscious of that, and so I can't have big speakers in order to enhance the movie watching experience, as it were. I'd love to one of these days. It would be wonderful to do that, but unfortunately, I don't have a very big setup here. And that same goes for the television. The television size is not so big. And that's due to space concerns. One of these days, perhaps, it would be nice to be able to maybe get a bigger setup, but I think at the moment, and especially, it's a family of four, and so we have to make room for, our children, and as they're getting older and stuff, we have to make room for them in their study areas and stuff, and so it's a little bit difficult to have a big space for a nice big screen TV or speakers or anything like that. So, and also I have to watch a lot of films at night, late at night, and when everyone is sleeping. And that's true, especially for films like horror films or maybe other films that are intense in terms of their subject matter, because I can't watch them with the family, So I'll usually put on headphones or earphones or something like that and watch the film. And so, therefore, the sound will then be dictated by the quality of the headphones or the earphones, which usually isn't anything that overly spectacular. I mean, it's good enough for me, but it's not the best in terms of the technical capabilities that are out there. But it'll do, I suppose, at least in terms of what I'm going for. So, yeah, let's see. All right. And let's see. Okay. Oh, Anita Bong hit 2.0. Thank you very much for that information. Oh, and thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, yes. I, I should mention, I really have to do this bet. I'm so terrible at this, but I do have Instagram as well, and I do have an Instagram account, and I do that use it fairly frequently. I also have a Facebook account, so if you want to reach me through another platform, via Instagram or Facebook, you can search for my name, and you can find me and just leave a message if you want. Sometimes I understand that some people leave messages and comments on YouTube, and so YouTube comments, that's really great. But if you want to try to reach me through, let's say, a private message or something like that, you can find me on YouTube. You can find me on YouTube, yes, but you can also find me on Instagram and on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook as well. So, yeah, and I've been very fortunate. I've received a number of private messages from viewers. I understand sometimes it's not the easiest thing in the world to leave a public comment on YouTube. So, if you feel more comfortable with trying to reach me via private message, I also have email, but I admit that Instagram messaging or Messenger, Facebook Messenger, is a little bit easier for to reach me. So if you want to reach me, you can do so. I try to do what's that other one? Twitter. I tried to do Twitter, but I must admit I still haven't gotten the hang of Twitter, and so don't use Twitter that much at all. And Letterboxd, I do have a Letterboxd account, but I'm very embarrassed to say that it's very difficult for me to keep up with that as well. Although I really must try to remedy that. Because I know the value of Letterboxd, especially in today's film community. So I must do that. Also, I must say that I understand that a number of people who watch these videos are also Reddit users, like the Criterion Reddit forum groups or something like that. So Reddit, and so maybe a couple months ago, a very kind viewer and friend brought it to my attention that there were some Reddit posts made about this particular channel. And I think actually a few months prior to that, someone brought it to my attention that there was a very nice post on Reddit about this channel. And there were some people who were very kindly saying, "Oh, check out this channel; it's really great." So I was so touched, and I was very moved by that. And I don't use Reddit. I made, I think, one post on Reddit, but that was basically it. I was so moved, I actually wrote a thank you note in the Reddit post about that, and because I was so touched. There was a lot of generosity there, and you didn't have to do that. And I understand that. It's not. I know that they're like, it's just one small little part of the entirety of the Reddit universe, which is enormous. But still, it really meant a lot to me, and it still means a lot to me. So for those of you who might have come to this channel via Reddit, I'm just so happy to be able to meet you, and really, it really is so great. There's a lot of stuff on the internet. I can appreciate the fact that the internet can be kind of a scary place, and it's not the nicest place in the world, I know, but it's so wonderful to have the opportunity to meet you and to interact with you. And that's one of the things what I think is really great about YouTube and other sort of platforms like this. It's every video that I put up, I really believe this. Every video that I put up is just another opportunity for me, another chance for me to be able to meet up with old friends and hopefully make some new friends. And so, if that's the case, for those of you who might have come here from Reddit, I'm very, very happy to see you, and thank you so much. It really means a lot, and it's just so surprising and also very overwhelming, and thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. And let's see. Sorry here. Matt Swick. Hello. Hello. Maybe this is the first time you and I have spoken. So if that's the case, then hello. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Harvey Snow Leopard. Hello. That's great. Let's see. So sorry about this. I have no. Oh yes, yes. The other thing too is that was the other thing I wanted to talk about very quickly, which was I have a what was that? Let's see. I was just about to say something, but it left me. So that's one of the things about live streaming. That's just that would be something that I would just very I would do my best to edit out in a video. But for live streaming, it just I can't block those moments, unfortunately. So it's yeah, gosh, it's amazing. Actually, lately I've been finding that I tend to start losing my train of thought. So gosh. Oh yes, yes, it came back to me. So I also wanted to say that I noticed that it didn't escape my attention at all, that I think I am at what is it? I'm at 2,999 subscribers. Maybe I lost a couple since this live stream started. I don't know, but last time I checked, I was at 2,999 subscribers, and wow, that is just amazing, absolutely amazing. I again, I'm so touched. Thank you so much. And so it's quite an honor. I understand. I mean, it's really quite an honor. So thank you so much. And I think I'll be perfectly honest, which is when I first started, I made it I made it a point to try my very best to try to if people left comments here, if it was a good comment, if it was maybe a not so good comment, or if it was just kind of a comment, still I would always try to give everyone his or her due, right? Because you never know, right? I mean, even with bad comments, or maybe negative comments, I mean, you never know. I mean, you don't know. Like, I make negative comments quite frequently. And so, but sometimes I make negative comments maybe because I really believe that, or maybe because it's maybe I was in a pretty foul mood one day. I don't know. I mean, there could be many reasons, and I think like 99% of those reasons, I think, or actually no, maybe I think 100% of those I think can be very legitimate. I mean, it's always like I've been very fortunate. I haven't gotten a lot of hate or anything like that. But even a very disparaging comment is, I think, very useful. And so there's nothing wrong with expressing a negative thought or negative comment. I don't I don't believe in blocking those sorts of comments. I don't believe that at all. I think that's something that I don't want ever to do. Even if a comment turns maybe it maybe might turn an ugly corner, which is I've been very fortunate that most of the comments that I've been seeing have not gone that way. But if it goes in a certain direction, I still don't believe in blocking or deleting anything like that, at least in YouTube. And it's been, I've tried my very best to try to talk to you through the comment section, because I really think that that's one of the best ways to connect with you, and that we can have a conversation. This is not a one-way street, so to speak. And I really want to emphasize that. I really believe that, and I think that meaning this is a two-way street, and I think that has many meanings actually. And let me try to explain, which is, on the one hand, I think that the videos that I make, and this is true also, especially for live streaming, the videos that I make, it's not just, I don't want it to be like me talking. It should be like a two-way thing, right? It may be like a conversation, right? Because, right, I have no claim of authority on anything. I don't know anything about anything. So it's just, I watch a film and I essentially just react to it, But part of that journey for me of reacting to a film, or a main component of that is seeing how other people react to the same thing, right? The constant, the thing that is not a variable, the constant is the film, and then the variables are the people that watch them. So to get more information based on the differing variables, I think is so fascinating, and it's just getting more and more information and stimulus and data, right, from conversations to be had with people, I think is wonderful. And up to now, I've been in a situation here in Japan where I don't have necessarily a close-knit group of people that I can go to on a daily basis and talk about film. So I have to come to YouTube here and express this. So for me, this is also very cinematically therapeutic, I suppose. And I really, therefore, want to emphasize that it's always been my hope and belief that that YouTube in general can be a two-way street, right? It's not just me talking, but it's also primarily it's a means of conversation. Back and forth, right? So there's that, and so therefore, I also want to say that I take comments very, very seriously, and very, very seriously. In fact, I think sometimes, the time it's very interesting. The time I spend responding to comments actually. It's a little bit more now than the time I spend making a video, if you can believe that. So, yeah, actually, it's a little bit more. I spend about a couple more hours more doing that than usual. So, and I think that's great. I think that's fantastic. I'm so thrilled with that because it makes me so happy. Like in many respects, I would say, for me anyway, like the comment section is actually more important than the video. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's because it's that interactive element that I think is really important for me. And so I take the comments very, very seriously. And that's why that even as the channel very, very steadily grows and grows, it's even though it takes more time for me to do that, I still really want to keep that. I want to maintain that, and so, also I want to say that again, you don't have to feel ever that you always have to like a video. I mean, if you like a video, wonderful. I'm very much appreciative of that, of course. But if you don't like a video, it's well within your I don't know, rights, I suppose, or ability to say so. If you really want to express that to me, oh, I don't like this, or I don't like your comment, or something, you can say that. That's fine. I'm completely open to that. If you want to do a thumbs down, I'm completely open to that because, excuse me here, because part of the thing about YouTube, which I thought was very interesting, which is one of the things which I actually discovered while I was doing YouTube, which is, I like films and I talk about cinema, right? And I'm not a film critic, but I do talk about cinema and I do appreciate cinema from a certain position of, I don't know, maybe my position is somewhat privileged, right? Because I have been very fortunate to be able to get a number of titles over the years, or I have been very fortunate to have been able to be the observer. I can watch films, right? But it must be very difficult for the filmmaker side, right, or the creator side to deal sometimes with a work of art that he or she makes, right? Because so much scrutiny is to be had with a particular work. Good things, bad things, everything in between. So there's everything, right? Even the greatest works of art are subject to sometimes the harshest critical scrutiny, which is perfectly fine. That's one of the great things about freedom of thought and living in a kind of democratic society where you're able to exchange opinions and ideas in what do we call it, the marketplace of ideas, right? But that scrutiny on the part of a filmmaker, I think is really, or any artist, I think is really difficult sometimes, or it has the potential for being. And so, I mean, and not to say that it's not, but that's all legitimate. I mean, it's all part of the discussion. And so I thought, well, if I'm making YouTube videos about cinema, I mean, it's certainly, I mean, I think it's a good thing actually to get criticism and to get negative criticism, and to try to process that and to feel that and to experience that and to see how I react to that, because it's like, I mean, my videos are in no way of the same level as let's say, a work of cinema, right? Don't get me wrong, I'm not on the same level. But it's almost like, okay, if I can use a kind of analogy or metaphor, or, live by analogy, as it were, it's almost like, okay, I can see now this, I can feel directly this notion of being the subject of kind of scrutiny, as it were. Videos that I make are uploaded and they are subject to the scrutiny of viewers, right? People watch them and then they react, and then he or she has an opinion or view. Sometimes, hopefully it might be a positive one, but sometimes it can be a negative one, or maybe it's a lukewarm, or it's neutral, or no opinion, something like that. And I think that kind of experience, though, for me, therefore, is actually very, very valuable, because it gives me a sense of it from the other side, as it were. And again, I understand that it doesn't amount to it doesn't amount to a hill of beans, right? When it comes to a work of art, I'm no filmmaker, so I'm not an artist, but it does, by analogy anyway, it does give me that sense of, okay, I understand what it is to sort of have things that I say be scrutinized. And so I think this YouTube experience, positive comments, negative comments, video interactions, and all that, I think has gone so far with me, and I feel like it's helped me to try to appreciate more what it is that I really, really love about cinema. And so it's been a valuable experience for me. Everything has been such a valuable experience for me. So this is to just my very, very long-winded way of me to say thank you so much for allowing me this experience so far. I mean, again, I know it's still very small in the grand scheme of the world. I understand that. So, but still, this channel has just been meant so much to me, and I have you to thank for that. So thank you so much. And so with that in mind, the comment sections are so important for me. So just going forward, I don't want to change that. And I will, as I say, do my very best to comment to every single comment that I can. If I miss your comment at any time, please forgive me. I don't mean to. And also it's sometimes difficult for me to respond immediately. But I just ask your patience. But please, I hope it. I hope I make myself clear in that it really is important to me. Your comments are so important to me, and so I'm very happy for what is it? 2,999 subscribers, and I hope it keeps going. And that's wonderful. But and you know it's how should I put it? Even as this channel slowly grows, I hope, fingers crossed, I do always want to keep that comments policy, as it were, alive. So, and actually, I want to thank you as well. I think many of you also foster this real great sense of community, and you talk to each other in the comments and the live stream here as well. So that really that makes me so happy. That's the thing that puts the biggest smile on my face, I think, is when I see that kind of interaction, and just right, and everyone is, for the most part anyway, everyone is pretty civil. Once in a while, I'll see a little bit of a, I wish that conversation didn't go that way, but oh well. But even right, even if we are the subject, or if we are the recipient, if you will, of maybe a not so pleasant comment, it's right. We just have to just brush it off and don't worry about it, and just maybe find someone else we can talk to, and just enjoy ourselves, right? I mean, it's the most important thing, right? It's just our time is limited, so we should enjoy ourselves with the amount of time that we have, and and if there's a kind of a maybe a not so pleasant comment that you come across, in the immortal words of Lord. What is it? In the immortal words of Humongous in Mad Max 2, right? Just walk away, right? Just walk away. So, anyway, but that's all to say. Thank you very much for your wonderful input and just great energy, right? It's wonderful to see. So, thank you. And let's see, Cine Art says, I would love to see a Scorsese series, Daisuke. Oh yes, Scorsese. I'm becoming more and more convinced that The Irishman is going to be the capper. It's going to be the third film of the great trilogy of Scorsese films, Goodfellas, Casino, and The Irishman. I think more and more that will be one of the great trilogies of cinematic history. As far as I know, there seems to be a progression of development of theme as we go from Goodfellas to Casino, and then with The Irishman, at least what I understand The Irishman is to be. The levels of power, the echelons of power, gradually, the stakes are raised as we get from Goodfellas, which is sort of low-level gangster crime, to Casino, which is these sort of gangsters that rise to this higher level, higher stakes game of casino politics. And then now we get to The Irishman, which I think is going to deal with the highest echelons of political power. So I don't know, this is going to be a great thing. But Scorsese series, just one day, hope that would be great. That would be absolutely great. Sorry, I'm just going to skip around the comments. I apologize. As I say, I'm just getting used. Okay, so Kubrick Lover 1972. Base Ghost NAC says, "What's today's stream about?" The title only says today's date. Yes, the stream is just an impromptu thing, so I tend to do this. That's one of the things I really have to change as well. Is my planning and my titles are really quite terrible, but I hope you can forgive me. But let's see, Melinda, hello. Michael M, hello. Great. Punk Nerd, do you have the complete Criterion collection? I don't have the most recent releases, so because they tend to arrive late in the mail. So, let's see. Melinda, thank you so much. Oh, you're so kind. Thank you as always. I hope you're well. You don't have to do this, but your generosity is just so it's lovely. Thank you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day or evening. And Lockjeb, hello. Thomas, Wilkie, hello. From Chicago. Tokyo Stories tomorrow. Tokyo Story is going to be tomorrow, so this is just an extra thing because I wanted to express my gratitude to you in the form of a live stream. So let's see, just skipping around. Theodore, I'm going to get this pronunciation incorrect, so I apologize. Caramanolus? Okay, Theodore, hello. I don't know if I've spoken to you before, but if this is the first time, hello. Cryfen Sup, hello. Yes, what's up? Big W Studios, yes, it's nice to see you. Let's see. Harney, hello. Yes, you say Naomi Kawase. Yes, Naomi Kawase is one of those great filmmakers who is I don't know if Naomi Kawase is spoken of that much, but she should be. I know that she has a couple of releases outside of Japan, right? But not that many. So let's see. Sorry about this. I'm just skipping over here. Sorry about this. This is really... Yes, and a reminder, tomorrow is this Tokyo time. Tomorrow, September 1st, Sunday, 6 a.m. Tokyo time. This will be the Tokyo Story live stream. That will be tomorrow. So I look forward to talking to you then. I hope to see you. And let's see. Danny Zeng, hello. Danny Zeng, hello. So he says that Reddit post was where I discovered. Well, thank you very much, Danny. That's very kind of you. Thank you. I did GT. Hello, Daisuke. This is my first time catching a live stream. I really enjoy your channel. Well, thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you. That's very kind. Fabricio, I discovered you in Twitter. A lot of Brazilian cinephiles watch your video. Wow, really? That's very kind. I didn't know that. I didn't. Oh gosh, thank you so much. Oh gosh, that really warms my heart. Thank you very much. Oh, best regards to you. I hope you are well. My warmest regards to the Brazilian cinephile film fan community. Let's see, and Jack Inkle, hello. It's nice to see you. Hello, how are you doing? Your channel's my favorite on YouTube. Well, that's very kind of you, Jack. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, Cooper Glover, 1972. Yes, you're getting older with your memory going, Daisuke. Yes. I'm now, this year I've turned 40, so I'm 40 years old. And, right, am I 40? Yes, so, yes, I'm 40 years old, and so, I still, sometimes I feel young. I feel young, but there are times I do admit where it does take me a little extra second to get out of bed. Maybe it does. I tend to drift off a little bit, but oh no, what am I saying? No, forever young, right? Forever young. Yes. I want to be forever young. So let's see. Oh, and Lovers 1972 says, I'll be 47 next month. So, everyone, let's wish Kubrick Lover 1972 birthday greetings next month. I hope you have a really lovely birthday. Happy early birthday, my friend. Hot Pepper, hello. And Jared, hello, my dear friend. Not a problem. Again, it's my apologies. This live stream is just, it's just, I just once in a while, I sometimes you just want to talk, right? So, sorry, I didn't have any planned notice about this. I really apologize. So, I hope you can forgive me. Let's see. Thomas Wilkie says, and then I learned about the early Alfred Hitchcock. I'm so early Alfred Hitchcock films. Speaking of Hitchcock films, did you hear about this huge, like, re-release Blu-ray set? It's like got the Psycho House or something. And also there was news. I received news from a dear friend of mine yesterday about the planned release of the Stanley Kubrick films from Lolita, I think, in these nice red. I mean, they're no T-shirts. There's not T-shirts. They're the real deal here. They're the films. So I was looking at that, and I was looking at that news, and I was thinking, gosh, it's either this is either Blu-ray is going to be so extinct very soon that these companies are going all out now. It's sort of the last ditch. It's the last gasp, if you will. I mean, it's either that, or Blu-ray is going to be alive and well, at least for a good few more healthy years at least. I don't know. I don't know what you think. I tend to think it's the latter. I don't. I mean, people sometimes say, "Oh, Blu-ray is dying, or physical media is dying, or it's going to be extinct in a couple months, or something like that." And we'll see, perhaps this year and next year. Right, this year, next year is going to be very key in terms of streaming services and how they develop over time, right, and how how the market it will affect other markets. So we shall see. But for the moment, yeah, there. I mean, I don't know if you know, in Japan, there's this famous, very, very famous Japanese film series which is called Otoko wa Tsuraiyo, which is about this character named Tora-san. So the Tora-san film series, or the Otoko wa Tsuraiyo film series. And it's sort of this Japanese sort of comedy series which spans, oh gosh, just so many films, almost 50. And there's going to be a planned release of the entire series. The nearly 50 film series entirety is going to be released on Blu-ray for the first time here in Japan. 4K digital restoration, all that stuff. It'll be released in Japan here in a full set, I think in December, to coincide with the release of the most latest film, which is going to be released in theaters in December in Japan. So it's the 50th anniversary also of the series. So it's a big deal, very big deal. And the Blu-ray set, it's available through Amazon Japan. And get this, it has its own, it comes in its own suitcase and stuff, and it's just super, super expensive. I think it's almost like $2,000. I think, I don't know. It's really quite ludicrously expensive. I know, but and they're taking reservations and stuff for it, and if you're there are some things where if you're like the nth person to make a reservation, you'll get the special tickets to the premiere or something like that, or some kind of campaign of that sort. So yeah, the man, when I see stuff like this, it just makes me so happy to realize that, oh, Blu-ray and physical media releases are still going strong. I mean, the deck is stacked against physical media right now. Don't get me wrong. I completely appreciate that. And so, in many ways, it's probably, I don't know how long this will last, but my goodness, right? It's if we're living in these times, we might as well enjoy it while we can, right? Carpe diem, seize the day. And so, yes, the Hitchcock set with that huge house. Wow, I'm not sure if I'm going to get it, but if anyone is planning to get that huge Hitchcock set, please let me know. The same is true for the Kubrick set. I must admit, I'm not the I don't have unlimited funds, and so it's not easy for me to purchase everything that I want. So I don't know if I'll be able to get the Kubrick set as well. I might hold off on that until I hear more information if it's worth it. I know it's a limited set as well, so maybe it might be too late for me, but we'll see. So if I know that there's a Kubrick set, and there are just so many sets, so many sets. And also the Twin Peaks box, right? Gosh, so much stuff out there. Man, let's see. There's a discussion here about Miike, the films of Miike, which is great. That would be, our dear friend, Asian movie enthusiast. I think he did an overview on the works of Miike, and that's one filmmaker that I don't think I'd ever be able to do a director film series on, is the works of Miike, because it would be impossible for me to go through his entire filmography. It would just be impossible. Yes, Asian movie enthusiast, you should check out his channel. Let's see. And let's see. Yeah. Okay, just going through the chat here. Yeah, just I'm sorry, there's no particular theme here for this live stream. It's just I just wanted to say hello, so and just talk with all of you wonderful people. So, and let's see. Gosh, I don't understand this too. Sometimes the live chat like hides comments that you guys make, or people here make, and I don't know why that is. And there's nothing, and I have to go and push a button in order to allow. I don't know why. So okay, if you find that you've written a comment and it doesn't show up, I don't know. Yeah, YouTube does this automatically. I think maybe it's just part of its mechanism. So I'll do my best to clear them. But if you, for whatever reason, if you've written a comment and it didn't show up, I apologize. But let's see. Kubrick Lover 1972 says, I have my Kubrick box set signed by Tom Cruise and Matthew Modine. Wow! Wow. I was just thinking the other day, like, just how fit. I mean, I don't want to talk too much about the details of Eyes Wide Shut, because I know some people haven't seen it, and I don't want to spoil it. But I really think the more I think about it, the more I realize how perfect Eyes Wide Shut is as a film. I really, really like that film. I love that film, Eyes Wide Shut. And I think the way that film, from start to finish, and especially the way it ends in those final few seconds, what a lovely valediction. That final line, that's like the perfect, if I were a filmmaker, and I'm not, but if I were a filmmaker, man, if I had a set of films in my filmography, wow, if my last film ended with the way that Eyes Wide Shut ended, and the line that ends that film, wow, it'd be like, yeah, that's a way to end a filmography. Wow. And not to mention, of course, the rest of the film. I think that's due for a huge reassessment. I think. I mean, I know it's not panned critically, but I also know that it's not necessarily considered one of his greats. It's not mentioned in the same breath as 2001 or Barry Lyndon. But even Barry Lyndon, I think, if correct me if I'm wrong, but Barry Lyndon, right, had a huge critical reassessment. So now it's considered one of the great prime examples of late 20th century cinema. And so I actually think Eyes Wide Shut has that potential, and I hope it does. Hope it gets more traction. But oh yeah. Oh, is there a discussion here about Todd Solondz movies? Okay, wow, yeah. That's one of the weaknesses, I think, of the Criterion Collection is that the Criterion Collection has life during wartime, but it doesn't have what's the film, right? Happiness, right? And so I think Life During Wartime, I think it's a really interesting film, but I think it's a film that I think operates much more effectively with the understanding of what comes with the film happiness, right? And so I'd always love to have Criterion Collection release more Todd Solondz films. I think that would be really great. But I know that they're a little bit, for some people, they're a little bit difficult to get into because the subject matter can be quite intense. I find it to be quite fascinating. I remember, I think yeah, I saw in the theater, must have been in the theater, I saw the film Welcome to the Dollhouse. And there is a particular way in which the characters develop and our allegiances shift about halfway through the film, which I found an incredible experience watching it when I was quite young. So I found that film to be I find that film to be a, a really unique and quite skillful example of independent American cinema at the time. So, but yeah, but Life During Wartime, I think that's a really underappreciated work. I think it's just bold and yeah, it could be quite shocking and quite unsettling, which I think is that's something I sometimes need that. I need sometimes to see, not all the time, but films. I sometimes need to have films to unsettle me and to shake me from my from my from my comfort zone. And I think Todd Solondz films do that very well. I don't know. Maybe did I catch your discussion in the wrong place? I'm sorry about that. Yeah, but they're certainly not for everyone, and I appreciate that. They are very intense. Sometimes they can be quite explicit in terms of subject matter or sexual content and things like that. And so they're certainly not for everyone, and I wouldn't recommend them to everyone. But they are. Yeah, he is a voice. He is such a strong voice. So. Yes, so again, just skipping around, and let's see. Tim Holmes says, "Do you buy any of the new 4K UHD releases?" And for example, Apocalypse Now: The Final Cut. Now, I don't go out immediately and get them. I am not. I'll be honest. I'm not yet. I don't have my flag fully planted there yet in terms of my own physical media focus. And also, like, I think I don't have the Apocalypse Now. I mean, I have the release that came a few years ago, but it's not the 4K release or anything like that. And I don't have the 2001 4K release or anything. I know it's really great, but I don't have it. So um, yeah, I don't rush out and get them. But maybe I should. Maybe I should start reassessing the way I consume media and get my physical media collection. But what did I get recently? I just got. Um, let's see, what did I get recently? The thing that I got recently was um, I don't remember. It wasn't. It wasn't. It was quite a long time ago, actually. I haven't been making any purchases. It might have been the No, no. Um, Actually, I don't remember because I haven't been making any purchases recently. I think I am waiting in the mail for the latest Criterion releases. Yeah, I am waiting in the mail for instance, the Coker trilogy and Flavor of Green Tea Over Rice. I'm waiting for those. I haven't received those yet. And I'm also waiting. I made a pre-order purchase some months back through Arrow. I don't usually order directly through Arrow, but I had to in this instance. I ordered 3 items from Arrow, which I haven't received yet. The first is the Old Boy film, the limited edition release of Old Boy. I ordered that, and also I ordered Cruising, William Friedkin film Cruising with Al Pacino. And then I ordered the Akioji Soji Buddhist trilogy set. Akioji Soji, I can't wait for that to come in. I'm a huge, huge fan of Art Theater Guild films, ATG films in Japan. One of these days, I'd love to talk about ATG films. I don't know if a lot of people outside of Japan know of ATG films, but that is a kind of a company that really spearheaded a lot of the independent cinema movement in Japan starting from the late 60s and 70s and all the way through the 80s, but primarily in the 60s and 70s, late 60s and 70s. And some of the examples of ATG films that you might know would be, for instance, the Kiju Yoshida box set. Not all of them, but yeah, I think that can count as an ATG set. But Death by Hanging, which is the Oshima film, which I think is also available on a great Blu-ray from Criterion. And also many of Oshima's early films as well are ATG films in that they were funded or partially funded by ATG. But there are so many others that haven't been released. So when I heard the news that the Akioji Soji box set was going to be released by Arrow, I was so thrilled. I was over the moon. I was on cloud nine. And then that was a couple years ago, if you might recall. And then I think maybe last year, the Arrow had announced that they were suspending their plans for production because I think there were some rights issues that they had to clear up. So that was an indefinite suspension. So it wasn't clear if that was going to be resurrected. So I was quite upset about that actually. But then the news came, I think, earlier this year that yes, indeed, they were going to release the Akioji Soji Buddhist trilogy set, and now I think it's already been released. So I'm just waiting for mine to get into the mail. And so those are ATG films, and those films talk about intense subject matter. Those films are just like, yeah, they aren't for everyone. They aren't for everyone. Sometimes they go into very dark places, very, very dark places, but they are visually interesting, arresting, and filled with a kind of a kinetic quality to them, feverish kinetic quality to them. And this is, I think, in many ways, they're prime exemplars of what makes an ATG film from Japan so great. And so hopefully this might mean that more ATG films will come into Arrow releases, or maybe Criterion, who knows. But that would be really great. So I can't wait to get the Akioji Soji Buddhist trilogy set. I actually have that on Japanese Blu-ray here. I don't want to somewhere here. But I actually have that on Blu-ray. Those films. It's 3+1. So it's a trilogy plus an extra film. So actually, there are 4 films, and I understand that the Arrow box set has the 4th film as well as a supplement, I think, and yeah. I mean, I've hesitated to speak about them because I think that they have been very difficult to get outside of Japan, and so But now that they're becoming more available, it'll give me the opportunity, hopefully, to talk about them in a video, maybe on this YouTube channel one day. Really, really great stuff. Let's see. Yeah, actually, Eyes Wide Shut. There's one shot. I don't know what happens, but like, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure, but there's a scene where Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise are talking, and then they're walking together, and right? Nicole Kidman is, I think, noticeably taller than Tom Cruise, but then when it cuts to a 2-shot conversation, I think they're the same height. I'm not sure. Maybe did I get that confused? But that's that's an interesting aspect of Eyes Wide Shut. But I'm sorry. What am I talking about? I don't know. Oh, anyway, sorry. Just going through the chat here, and then I'll just be on my way. Let's see. So just catching up with as many people as possible. Again, this is not in any way a planned live stream, and so I apologize. I know it's probably much better for me and for you and for what is it, the YouTube algorithm, or to have a title and stuff. I apologize. It's just again, I just wanted to have the opportunity to just have a chat with you. Let's see. Wolfgratz says, "LOL. I really disliked Lost in Translation. See, I told you nobody likes everything." That's interesting. I actually go back and forth with Lost in Translation. I really, really love the Virgin Suicides. And there are moments in my life when I really love Lost in Translation, and then there are moments when I sort of gravitate towards the other direction, where I'm a bit more lukewarm on it. At the moment, I think I'm a little bit lukewarm on it, but maybe it's about time for me to go into the opposite direction. But I haven't seen that film in such a long time, actually. But I find the sort of the way in which sort of inner city malaise is depicted, I find it more successful with the Bill Murray character. Let me put it that way. But that's just me. I think maybe I should rewatch it again, because I haven't seen it in quite a while, actually. So that's a good idea. Yes. Lockjeb says, Daisuke, better pre-order that Twin Peaks box set. Yes, I understand it's also limited. So yes. So not to worry. When I heard about that, yes, I'm sorry. I'm a really big fan of Twin Peaks, and so yeah, not to worry about that. Thank you very much for the advice, though. Yeah. Let's see. All right. Gosh. Max, hello. It's nice to see you. Matt Swick, hello again. And you say, I'm very late in mentioning this, but I was able to pick up so many great Criterion titles, most based on your recommendations this July. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Matt. That's very kind of you. Thank you. I hope you find, yeah, if you have the opportunity, I'd love to hear what titles you got in particular, and if there are any titles that you liked more than others. If there are titles that you thought kind of okay, kind of so-so as well, I'd love to hear about those as well. If yeah, let me know in the chat, or if you don't have time now, always feel free to leave a comment under any video, and I'd love to hear about it. That'll be great. Thank you so much, Matt. Isaac, hello, our dear friend Isaac. Your avatar picture, Isaac, is so apropos. As Tokyo Story, it's great. You know, I love Tokyo Story. I love it so much, but oh gosh, I'll talk about this tomorrow. But you know, have you noticed the cover art for the Criterion? Well, I guess it's true. It's right the cover art for the BFI release as well, but also the cover art for Criterion. I love this, you know, Tokyo Story, and I love how the fact that Tokyo is it's so much. It's like a metaphor more than anything, and I think that's so exemplified perfectly with the cover art for the Criterion Blu-ray. I don't know if you noticed, but I think the pictures that are used in the block picture layout that's used in the Criterion cover art, no picture is actually of Tokyo. They're all of other places outside of Tokyo. You know, either it's the hometown of the parents, which is actually down south, which is near Hiroshima, right? It's not near, it's not in Tokyo. And the shot of Setsuko is also there as well. And also where they're sitting that's not Tokyo, right? That's Atami, sort of the seaside hot spring resort place. So it's not the city of Tokyo. So I always thought that was very interesting. You know, that they are showing us cover art for Tokyo Story, but they're not showing us an actual image of Tokyo, which I think makes the idea of Tokyo and Tokyo Story is so much more vivid as a metaphor and as a symbol of something that we see at odds with sort of kind of an older passing generation. But I'll get into that tomorrow. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, let's see. Yes, and the old Tokyo Story DVD from Criterion, I have that as well. That's like a close-up of eyes, right? And so that might actually be an image that is taking place in Tokyo. So that's probably maybe in that sense. I haven't thought about this as well, so I haven't quite solidified my comments here. So maybe what I'm about to say is wrong, but that might be that Criterion older DVD release might therefore be the most accurate cover art depiction of Tokyo Story, in that it actually is of a moment that takes place in Tokyo. I don't know. So that's probably an extra point for the Criterion DVD release. But it's a great DVD release. I have that too. It's a 2-disc DVD release. It's great. Absolutely great. And I think the theme music that's employed for the menus is different. I actually like the theme music that's employed for the older Criterion DVD release, because it's the main theme rather than a variation on the theme with a different key that's used as the music that plays over the menu screen for the Blu-ray. I actually like the menu screen music for the older DVD much better, but they're both the same theme, but it's just slightly different play. But anyway, okay, gosh, I have to start going now because it's 9 a.m. and I have to walk the dog. So, all right, I will get going now. So again, I apologize. Oops, excuse me here. There we go. I apologize, my dear friends, for the length of this live stream, and also for the impromptu nature of this. You know, it was unannounced, and the fact that it was basically themeless. So I apologize for that, and I hope you can forgive me. It's just I really have to change, and I will do my best to improve. But in the meantime, it was just a great opportunity for me and a great chance for me to be able to talk with you as always, and to hear your thoughts. And I think for some of you, it was the first time that I was able to speak with you. So that's exactly what I was saying, you know, to catch up with old friends and hopefully meet some new ones. And so thank you very much for giving me that great opportunity. And also, right, I'm just going to turn off the live stream in a couple minutes, but that doesn't mean that your conversations have to end. Please keep your conversations going, and I hope you meet new people here, and you can make friends, and you can. And also make your YouTube videos and your podcasts and blogs and Instagram posts and reviews and everything. I hope you continue to do that, and live streams too. I say this many times, but it's so great. Live streams is such a fun thing to do, and so I encourage you, if you have your own YouTube channel, to give it a try. I know many of you are already, and if you don't mind, for some of you, I know it might be a little bit embarrassing, or maybe there's a little bit of an etiquette involved with YouTube in terms of posting stuff, your videos. No, for me, if you want to post a video link to any video that you make, to a comment under a video, please do so. I'm very open to that. If you have information about any live streams that you will hold, please let me know. You can let me know in a comment below. You can leave a link. You can promote your own channel, and I think that's fine. If it's film related, that's great. So if anything that's film related, or anything that you think might be of interest to me or to anyone here. The kinds of things that we are interested in. Please feel free to leave a link below. I mean, if it's something completely unrelated, like well, I mean, I don't know. I'd like to think that my tastes are quite varied, and so yeah. Actually, I'm going to take. If you have any interesting things, that I'm perfectly open to that. Right? Maybe it might not necessarily be for everyone. So for those of you who see a link like that, and you don't want to watch it, you don't have to see it. But my point is that as open as possible with this. So if you have anything of interest, like live streams or your own videos, please feel free to leave your links in the comments of any videos, and I'm very happy to receive them and to welcome them. So okay, with that, my friends, I will see you soon, and oh yes, someone left a comment. Someone leave a comment about Theo Angelopoulos films, right? The Greek filmmaker. I didn't mention this before. Just in closing, I didn't mention that I'm seriously considering doing an Angelopoulos series. I'd love to go through his entire filmography. That would be really great. There are a number of films that he has done. And he is also a filmmaker that left us much too soon. But that would be really great to see. Again, if I had the time, I'd love to do that. But in any event, my friends, I will hopefully see you tomorrow in the live stream, 6 a.m. Tokyo time, Sunday, 6 a.m. Tokyo time, Tokyo Story, and we will go from there. So anyway, my friends, thank you very much for your time as always, and peace, cheers, and be well. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. All right. The mic is unplugged, but you can still hear me. So this is just the downtime as I wind down. So thank you very much. And I hope you are all doing well. Thank you. And yes, The Traveling Players is great. It's excellent. It's excellent. There's so many great films. Oh gosh. Ulysses Days or Alexander the Great. Oh my gosh, don't get me started. I have to go, but oh man. Oh gosh. Anyway, so yes, that should be something that there are a number of videos, I think, of some people doing focusing on his works, but his works, for instance, aren't in the Criterion Collection, and so that is, I think, a shame. I don't know what it is, and really, there should be at least one film. I mean, at the very least, there should, like The Traveling Players. It should be in the Criterion Collection, but there's something. Gosh, I wish there would be more attention given. But anyway, that's just another thing that I'm thinking about. So, anyway, my friends, thank you very much, and please have a great rest of your day, evening, whatever the case may be. So, thank you.